I recently discovered a newly published book, one of those rare gems that offers meaning and enjoyment for all ages, called What the Road Said by Cleo Wade. One day, as the main character was wondering if there was something more or different out there, a road appeared before her. This is a girl, like any good Unitarian Universalist, who asks lots of questions. And so she asks the road, "Where do you lead?" And the road responds, "Be a leader and find out." How do I start? You have already started. Well, what happens when I get there? We have just begun. Don't skip straight to the ending. Enjoy the beginning and middle too. Which way do I go? That is your choice to make. But what if I go the wrong way? The road curved a little, almost as if it were giving her a hug, and said, "Do not worry. Sometimes we go the wrong way on our way to the right way." The girl goes on to ask the road many more questions. What if I get scared? Will I always move forward? What if I fall? What if I get lost? What if I grow weary or get hurt? What if I get lonely? The road assures her that she is brave, that it will be there when she lands. The stars and moon will help light her way. The trees will shelter her when she needs to rest and heal, and she is never alone. She then asks, what if I change? So the road leads her to a caterpillar and a family of seeds. They journey through the seasons together, the caterpillar finding its wings and becoming a butterfly, and the seeds blooming and becoming flowers of every color. No living thing is meant to stay the same, the road says. These are all questions we've wondered about at some point in our lives, aren't they? Whether we are 7 years old or 17 or 77, we're not as different as we sometimes think. This year of traveling down the COVID road has made some of these questions all the more relevant as we navigate this in-between time, not knowing how long it will last, how many people will be hurt or die, what life will be like on the other side, and what normal will mean. While we may still feel a bit unsteady, I think we will come out of this stronger at our core because we have learned to live and move on shifting ground. It's like we've been walking on wet sand. It shifts and moves, surrounding our feet when the waves come in and washing away from under us as the waves go back out to sea. It takes strength and agility to walk on wet sand. And that's what we've been doing for the past 14 months. This year's coming-of-age youth and graduating seniors have had 9th and 12th grade years truly like no other. These are years structured around so much intense learning and growth, and yet so much beyond their control has shaped that growth, delaying it in some ways and accelerating it in others. They've been called to step up and be leaders, to be brave, like in the story. They've had to make sacrifices and let go of some things. And they've been called to change. The reality is, no matter what we face, we keep on growing. While it may seem like parts of life have been at a standstill this past year, as one of the coming-of-age advisors observed, pandemic or not, they just keep growing. Being a part of this, watching these teens grow and help one another grow as they learn and share together has helped me through this year, she says. One of the promises of Unitarian Universalism and the sources of hope for us is that we can change things. As 20th century Unitarian theologian James Luther Adams wrote, "The resources, divine and human, that are available for the achievement of meaningful change justify an attitude of ultimate optimism." Thus, we're not only the objects of change happening around and within us, we are the subjects. So how will you shape the growth and change ahead of you on this road? The writer Octavia Butler in Parable of the Sower reminds us, all that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. So with this great responsibility and opportunity, what can we do? We can be open to new learning and truth from many different sources that teaches us about ourselves and about the world. As we get older, it's easier to become stuck in our ways or to think we have nothing left to learn in some areas. Unitarian religious educator Sophia Lyon-Faz said it matters what we believe, and that some beliefs are pliable, like the young sapling, ever growing with the upward thrust of life. So let us have pliable beliefs and pliable lives that grow and adapt along with the changes happening within and around us. Along with the openness to take in new truth and meaning, the other side of change is the readiness and willingness to shed what no longer fits. We periodically take stock of and sort through our lives, figuring out what's important and what can be left behind. We shed the clothes or identities or expectations that no longer fit us and know ourselves more deeply. It is a process of moving from feeling bound to feeling free, and then choosing our path forward. We do this over and over and over again in our lives as we move from childhood to adolescence to adulthood. So, coming of age youth and graduating seniors, I hope you know that what you are doing now is preparing you for this same transformation process that will occur over and over again in your life. That is part of why we make a big deal of coming of age and these rites of passage, and have ministers and advisors help guide you through it. It's so you will be confident navigating changes in the future. Which leads me to the next way we can shape our growth as we travel the road ahead, and that is leaning on our communities for support. As the story with which I began the sermon continues, the girl asks, "What if I need help on my journey?" And the road responds, "Ask your fellow travelers along the way." This church is a community of support for all of you, of all ages, regardless of where you are on the journey of growing up. We tell this to our babies and their parents when they're dedicated and blessed. When the parents' wisdom falls short, they and their children can look to other wise ones in this community. We tell this to our children and youth throughout their young years in our church, but especially as they go through these rites of passage of coming of age and graduating high school. We tell this to people as they join the church, that we will be with them in times of sorrow and joy, offer encouragement in times of doubt, and hold our lamps high to light the way. When we joined together in the words of blessing earlier in this service, we told the youth, "You are builders of this place, and this is your church home. You do not travel this road alone. We will be by your side along the way wherever the road takes you." This is true for everyone who is part of this community. Whether you are near or far, you do not travel this road alone. My last encouragement to you is to journey down the road, letting your Unitarian Universalist values lead the way. This is one of the final lessons of the road. What if my fellow travelers are mean to me? The girl asks anxiously. Lead them with kindness, said the road. But how? By being kind. What if they want to fight? Lead them to peace, says the road. But how do I lead them to peace? By listening to their stories, telling them yours, and reminding them that you are all on this journey together. What if the world around us is filled with hate? The girl asks. Now this question breaks my heart, thinking of all the young people and people of all ages who are transgender or non-binary or people of color whose worth and dignity are questioned constantly in our current world. The Road responds, lead it to love. But how? By sharing the power of your love with it. Friends, lead your fellow travelers with kindness, peace, and love. You will grow in the process, and you will help others grow as well. Keep on going and keep on growing, because that's what we're meant to do. You need not look far to find nourishment or companions for your journey. We are with you. The spirit of kindness, peace, and love is with you, and the Holy is with you. Amen.